everybody, and welcome back to another video. Hope you all are having a great day today. Hope you all have a great New Year's this year, and hope you all have a good Christmas. And let's get into today's video. Today's video we'll discuss two systems. One which will occur tomorrow night into Saturday, and the second one which will be right on its heels, Sunday into Monday, possibly lingering into Tuesday. We'll see how that one develops. But let's get right into the video. First, we're going to look at some models from this first system and the second system. I do want to highlight that there is the potential for some freezing rain with this first system, possibly significant. It looks to be more significant south of us, but I'm not ruling out quarter inch of ice for us, for western New York, specifically more east of Buffalo, Monroe County, areas like that. But let's look at the models. So this is the European model. As you can see, snow for this system, this first system, this 3 days. This is snow for the first and the second system. I'm not expecting much snow for the first system because it will just be not the right setup for snow. It says 1.5 inches. Okay, in 10 days it still has 1.5 inches. That's not a lot of snow. But you look at the precipitation type. This is Friday into Saturday. You can see that pink right there showing up. That is freezing rain. And that is snow. That is rain with snow. That is wet snow. That is rain. So it's going to be a very broad area of precipitation, and it will be 10 miles down the road it could be raining. 10 miles down the road it could be snowing. You never know. This is what happens when the temperatures get near 32 degrees. Let me just explain real quick how you get freezing rain. So with freezing rain, you have to have a cold air mass up above. So the precipitation starts as snow. Snowflake falls, then it gets into a warm layer, usually in the mid 30s, and then the snowflake melts, and then right before it hits the ground, it enters a shallow air mass that is below freezing, near the surface. This snowflake, or now raindrop, does not have the time to freeze into sleet. So it then is still liquid in the form of rain, and since the temperatures at the surface are below freezing, it freezes on contact, and this is what we call freezing rain, which is very dangerous. As you can see down here in the southern tier, 1/4 inch of freezing rain, and even more if you head into time. Possibly 1/4 to 1/2 inch of freezing rain there for the southern tier. And this brown shades is ice pellets. That is that cold air at the surface being a little more deeper and being able to freeze into sleet. But so that is what the European model says. A little bit of freezing rain, even a little bit of snow on the onset, maybe slushy coating to 1 inch, maybe, possibly. Wet snow, it says. So let's look at the NAM model, the North American model. As you can see, it says starting out as snow, not wet snow, just snow, late Friday, transitioning to possibly heavier rain, heavier freezing rain, 0.16. That is a lot of freezing rain, but notice Spencer Port's right on the edge of the snow and freezing rain. As you push through time, it eventually changes to rain, but we could be in a little dry slot here, especially south and west of the city. But as you look at the temperatures here for all three models, NAM is the coldest, says around 32, and it pushes still 32, 33, 33, hangs down to those cold temperatures for a while. European model seems to agree, 33, 34, but the GFS is somewhat of the outlier, says middle 30s, warming up to possibly the upper 30s. With that low pressure tracking right there, right over Rochester at 1005. So just to emphasize that freezing rain component, let's see if I can find it here. There's a setting here. It's called, there it is, freezing altitude. The European model is the only model that offers it. So freezing rain will happen right around here, I think. Let's see. Where did the precip go? There it is. So we need to go to right here. Here's where the freezing rain was, a little bit. Not a lot. As a very small patch. So it's very unlikely to happen, but let's go to the did it just disappear on me? I think it did. Freezing altitude. Wonder if I put it somewhere else. Don't see it. Okay. Can't find it here in a minute. We'll just move on. Air quality, temperature. There it is, freezing altitude. Okay. So as you can see, near the lakes, the freezing altitude is lower. That is what causes freezing rain, because you have a shallow, cold air mass. Right here, you see we're on the edge. That's why we have a little pocket of freezing rain. That's just under 6,000 feet. And as you go south and west of the city, 9,000, 8,000, 9,000 feet, you cannot get freezing rain at the altitude, because then the raindrop will then freeze into sleet. That's the difference between sleet and freezing rain. So I'm expecting around 1/10 to possibly up to 1/4 inch of freezing rain right now for western New York. Probably closer to 1/10 of an inch. Not too much of a big deal, but it will be slippery Friday night into Saturday, so definitely be careful as you travel. But now let's go on to that second system I was talking about, Sunday into Monday. There's big discrepancies with this system. Let's go into northeast. Northeast. Alright, it doesn't want to work for me right now. Come on, northeast. Let's try something else. Why does it not? What's it doing? Alright. If this isn't going to work, then we're going to have to do it. There it goes. Okay. So, here's our first system. Let's put this into motion. Here is the leftover snow that we may or may not have gotten this morning. Early this morning. Here's the pink, the freezing rains, as you can see. Now this low pressure tracking right over Rochester, says the GFS, changes this all to rain. And maybe a snowstorm for Maine. And the high pressure builds in for a day. Then here comes our second system. GFS has it a lot weaker, far off the coast, with limited snow, maybe an inch. And then maybe a snowstorm for coastal Maine. That is what the GFS says. Let's go to its sister model, GFS Parallel. Much system in the same spot, but much heavier snow totals in western New York. Darker blues. Darker blues. That would mean heavier snow. This is around 4 inches for Rochester. Keep in mind that the models do count freezing rain as part of the total. So we have to minus the 1 inch from the last system. So it's about 3 inches. Canadian seems to be the outlier at this point. Just showing all the possibilities. Says an inch from this first system. Now keep in mind, I do not expect any snow from this first system. Maybe a coating to up to an inch if this snow materializes in the beginning. But it says 6 inches, 7, 8, 9, 9 inches it says. I think that is unlikely at this point. Here's why the Canadian says 9 inches. Let's go back in time here. You got the snow system, heavier snow, possibly some rain mixing in, especially towards early Monday. And you got this little clipper here, which intrigues me. That enhances the lake effect a little bit. That gives us those extra 3-4 inches. I do not think that is likely at this point because the European model and the GFS agree on about an inch. But I think we're for a game for anywhere from 1 to 3 inches at this point. 1 to 3 inches. I'm not ready to go higher right now. So here is the current watches and warnings from the National Weather Service. Winter storm watches in effect in north central Pennsylvania, central Pennsylvania, and south central Pennsylvania, possibly parts of southwestern Pennsylvania. That is for the sleet and freezing rain I was talking about for this first system. These watches and warnings are all for the first system. You got winter storm warnings all the way down to the Mexico border for Texas. This is rather unusual. I don't know what happened there. I did not click on that. I want that. So click on the winter storm warnings. It says 4 to 7 inches for Texas. That is a big storm for Texas, especially southern Texas and southwestern Texas. You got pockets of winter storm warnings in Oklahoma and parts of the plains, and winter weather advisories extending parts of Michigan up to the Great Lakes. This is for this system. Here, this is a winter storm watch for a major ice storm is expected to hit south of Chicago. It says ice accumulates up to 1/4 of an inch. I think areas will easily get 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch, possibly more of ice in those areas. But that is all in a nutshell. Possibly for the second system, I could see a winter weather advisory being issued for the ice, and possibly even that second system with the snow. Just to recap, 10th to up to 1/4 of an inch of ice for Friday night into early Saturday, very early Saturday. Second system on its heels 24 hours later. You could expect a general 1 to 3 inches of snow. Nothing too major. And then long range, like I promised you guys, just keeping an eye on. Very warm the next couple weeks. And then possibly some cold air wants to work in right here. On the 14th to the 21st, I'm watching that. And then the warm says it's going to be warm, but remember I said about that bias. So that's a little bit about the long range. I am feeling optimistic about my January forecast, but I'm still thinking it is possible. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you, everyone. Stay tuned and have a weather-tastic day.